Great. Hey, one of the things that I decided to do this evening was I got inspired by a couple of people that I was having a conversation with about some different components of the business and the compensation plan and so on and so forth. So what I wanted to do was kind of go over some of that and see if what I've done really makes sense and really um, gets the message across. So um, the first thing that I wanted to start out with, there's a lot of people that seem to be very, very confused on the legacy bonus for whatever reason. So I want to see if I can sort that out. And some people are under the misconception that the legacy bonus is going to be a huge part of their uh, business. And while it's a component, it's certainly not the largest component of the compensation plan. So, what I did here was grab my last paycheck, from Friday, and obviously the fast start is pretty self-explanatory. The binary at my rank is capped out and at 400 cycles, so I can't go any higher than 400 cycles. So that until I get to the next rank, and then you see the match there, and then legacy bonus. But what I wanted to really look at, and these are the detail of both the fast start and the legacy. And I highlighted, or I put in red, the 5 people that I personally enrolled, where I earned not only the $100 fast start bonus, but the $100 legacy bonus. And then there's 5 other people that came from somewhere, right? That came from somewhere. And I don't ever even worry about, where they came from. I figured the computers got all of that figured out. Last time I looked, I had 296 people on my legacy team. So, but let me say this about that. The vast majority of them, if I look at those almost 300 people, there are those small group have 3 qualifying sales, right? Foundation team built. A larger group that has 2, a much larger group that has 1, and a much, much larger group that have none. So, having said that, this is where the big money is. Let's take all the confusion out of the compensation plan, and that no matter you sponsor your first 3 people, don't go anywhere, right? There's this misconception that these people vanish off into space or something, and that's just not the case. I think it's the way that different charts have been drawn. They kind of, this foundation team, and I've got that chart on the next slide, is over here, and then what we're showing there is kind of a unilevel chart, and this is more of a binary dual team chart, and that's one of the things that seems to be confusing people. But you're putting your first 3 people, and I mean, they're going to go on one of those 2 sides, and they're going to stay there. They're not going anywhere. However, the $100 legacy bonus is going somewhere. It's going to someone who is legacy qualified above you. I wanted you to just, quickly glance at, the team cycles per week. And, there's mine at 400, but as soon as I hit Blue Diamond, it doubles. So it goes from 8,000 to 16,000 a week, which is good. And Royal Diamond doubles again, goes from 16 to 32. And then we go to 48,000. This is where John is at Crown. He's maxing out 3,500 cycles a week. So the poor guy is just barely getting by at 70 grand, coming out of the dual team. plus his other bonuses. And he's very close to hitting Crown Ambassador and maximizing that goal team at $100,000 a week. So, you know, this just, you know, by John accomplishing that, and yes, okay, just say he's got the experience, but he's got 5 years vested, right? He's got 5 years vested in Valentis. You know, who in their right mind wouldn't vest the next 5 years of their life, right, to walk through this compensation plan to get where he's at? Probably everybody, right? Everybody would want to do that. And that's what I try to tell people, is that now, you know, it's not an if this is going to happen, it's a when, you know. So it's if somebody stays engaged, and stays plugged in and stays, you know, with the program, stays qualified, continues to do the, you know, the ongoing little things that we are taught to do. I was talking to somebody here recently, and I'm going to talk about it again in a minute, but, you know, he said, you know, I'm just not a very good recruiter. And I said, well, let's just eliminate that word recruiting from your vocabulary. Let's remove that, because we're not recruiting anybody. Just put that aside. So, you know, pressure is off. You don't have to recruit anybody. What I want you to do, though, is talk to all of your friends. I said, how many friends do you have? I got hundreds of friends. Okay, I just want you to talk to all of your friends. And he said, well, you know, what do you want me to talk to them about? I said, well, ask them, number one, if they drink coffee. Oh, I can do that. You know, ask them, number two, if they've ever considered losing any weight, or if they've ever been on a diet, or if they've ever tried to lose weight and couldn't lose weight. You know, get onto that topic of, you know, get into that conversation with them. And they're going to say, you know, why? Why is that? Why do you want to know? Hey, have you ever heard of a company called Valentis? No. Hey, they manufacture and distribute the most incredible weight loss coffee I've ever tried in my life, and you need to try it. And I said, can you do that? And he said, yeah, I can do that. And I said, well, then just the rest of it will just happen, you know, and we'll follow through on the process. But, you know, I said, get the recruiting vocabulary out of your mind. You know, just change your mindset. We're not going to recruit anybody. We're not going to put a hard close on them. We're going to let them sell themselves, because, you know, guys, that's what happened to me. I sold myself on this whole thing. Once I tried the product, once I jumped on an airplane and flew to Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and luckily it was June and not January. You know, I verified what I thought could have been the case, and that I heard was the case. And once I verified that, then, you know, it was real easy. I mean, I sold myself, hey, I want to do this. And that's what I tell people now with the upcoming event coming in Orlando. I just said, hey, if there's a snowball's chance in hell that you might think that Valentis could be your plan A or your plan B, then you need to get on an airplane and get to Orlando, Florida. If you can't stay the whole time, no big deal. If you can be there Friday night, Saturday, and then jump and leave town, great. If you can only be there Saturday, come in for the day and leave town. You know, get there. Whatever you have to do, drive, air miles, whatever, right? Trains, buses, Ubers, whatever. But definitely get there, because, you know, outside of going to Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and I'd certainly much rather go to Orlando than Sioux Falls, having that one-on-one time with Dave, you know, being in the event is going to give you that, you know, that really that big picture view of everything. So I would highly encourage you to talk to all of your team members. And, you know, I understand that it's expensive. I understand that it's inconvenient. I understand all of those things. But the truth here is that if you're not doing anything that has the potential of earning you $100,000 a week or more, then you need to pay attention to what's going on because it's already being done. I don't know how much clearer I can, really say it other than that, is that you need to pay attention. And that's what got me involved in this industry in the very beginning. Had I not have gone to an event, had I seen it over the internet or, participated in a Zoom or something like that, then I wouldn't have been as excited as I was, because when I saw it live, there wasn't anything that, there was no mirage there, right? I mean, I saw the people, I saw them getting checks, I saw the income, I saw everything with my own two eyes. And I said, look, if those people can do it, I know I can do it. And I think the difference between me and probably all of you guys is that we believe we can do that. There's a lot of people that don't believe they can do that even when they see it with their own two eyes. So they have another hurdle to cross. But we can get people through that transition, and it's just baby steps, right? It's getting from ruby to emerald. It's getting from emerald to diamond. It's getting from diamond to double diamond. It's getting from diamond, double diamond to triple diamond. And by the time that happens, certainly their belief is escalated, a few notches, because now they're starting to believe that this whole thing is real. And that brings me back to, again, the tender loving care conversation with, a brand new person. We've got to do a better job, all of us, in, wrapping our arms around that new person. Look, we spend all the time, all the effort, and all the money and everything else in order to get a person into the business, plugged in and part of the business. And now it really is your responsibility as the enroller to make sure that you provide that tender loving care, that person, to take them through the steps that are necessary, that you already know that are necessary for them to be successful. And you all have the ability to do that. If you don't know exactly what to do, then certainly get in touch with me. But take them through all the baby steps, right? All the baby steps that have to be accomplished, and just get that checked off. And if you need a checklist, we'll write a checklist. But get all those things checked off, because as you teach them, they will teach others, right? Make sense? You teach them, they'll teach others, and then they'll teach others, and so on and so on. So if we keep that training consistent, Mitch did a great job on Saturday with some very, very basic training. And although we had a good crowd there, we should have had 10 times as many people there, because that's the kind of information. And I'll send the link off so that you guys can get that. And again, it's just for your own information, so that you can teach people the right thing to do in the process. So let me talk to you a little bit about the legacy bonus. This is the slide that seems to confuse a lot of people, because they look at this foundation team and they think that those people are gone somewhere. Well, they're not gone anywhere. They're just that and there's a lot of different, with this type of coded plan, there's a lot of, I don't want to say the tendency, because that's not exactly right, but there's some people that tend to, even though that person, those three people are going to be in your dual team somewhere, right? Two on one side and one on the other, or three on one, they're going to be in your dual team, and you're going to get a matching bonus on each one of them, because they're all personally sponsored, right? The only thing that you're not getting is the $100 legacy bonus, and then you're not getting the $100 legacy bonus on their first three of their first three of their first three of their first three of their first three. So that's just how it is. But when you go out and sponsor 10 more, right? So you got 13. Now those 10, same thing. You know, those 10 aren't going to get the legacy bonus on their first three of the first three of the first three of the first three of the first three. So I never really pay any attention to, you know, putting in good people or not so good. I just put them in. Right? I mean, I learned that a long time ago, that you just never can tell who's going to do it, who's going to be good, who's not going to be good. You say, well, I'm going to put my brother-in-law, my sister, and my mother in the foundation team, and I'm going to put, you know, these good people that I think are really good people over here in 4, 5, and 6. And come to find out that your mother explodes the business, right? I mean, I've seen crazier things happen. So, you know, just put them in as they come along, right? And don't hold anything back. So knock out that foundation team and then get into your legacy team. And what you want to do is start working with those people, this group, right? This group, and get to know all of those people, because those people are important for your ongoing income. The quicker you can help them get 3, the quicker you're going to get paid. So, you know, I created this chart a long time ago when we only had the canisters of the Slim Roast Optimum, and I'm almost tempted to go back to, you know, this chart, and because it just, you know, one of the things, even though I like the 6-day experience and I like all of those things, it seems to be me more customer driven than it is distributor driven. And you know, what I'm looking for, what you're looking for, what we're all looking for are people excited about the opportunity. And you know, and if we again teach, whatever we teach is what people are generally going to do, or some form or fashion of it. And now there certainly has been a growing, you know, that the organization has grown. I don't know if it's necessarily been because of the 6-day experience or if it's just been because of the coffee. You know, I'm thinking it's more because of the product. It's not because of the system that somebody created. But, you know, I go back to this. I start looking at month 1, month 2, and, you know, teaching people to give product away, get it in other people's hands. Because look, as soon as somebody gets product and they are taught how to use the product the right way, then they're going to get some results, and then they're going to catch fire. I mean, it just happened over and over and over and over again. So I just wanted to kind of look at that chart again and talk to you guys away, because look, I mean, if the 6 month, you got 243 people, they're each giving away 15, you've got 3,645 people out there starting to sample the product. And everybody can visualize that. I mean, it's not that big of a stretch for us to talk to somebody about getting this product into the hands of 15 people. So just a thought. I just wanted to plant that seed with you guys. Do's and don'ts. You know, like I said so many times in the past, I've discovered over the last 30 years a lot of the things that work and a lot of the things that don't work. And what my job here is to try to guide you guys through those pitfalls and keep you from doing the things that don't work, keep you on track doing the things that do work. Make sense? Okay. Do get legacy qualified as soon as possible. Pull out all the stops. Look, you're going to double your income, right? You're going to double your income. Don't give people away. Let me be very clear with that. What I mean by that is that you're not doing anybody a favor if you give somebody that you could have enrolled and you give them to somebody else so they can get their second person, or they can get their third person. Oh, they're one person shy of being legacy qualified, and you give them a person. No. See what a next thing is? Give a man a fish, feed him for a day, teach him to fish, feed him for a lifetime, right? You've got to say, hey, let me help you get the third one. Let me help you get the second one. Let me help you get the first one. Let's make sure you're doing it the right way. And if you give somebody something, then they don't really appreciate it, right? Because it was given. And, it's much easier and much more beneficial if you would teach that person exactly what has to happen. I know Mitch and I went over on the training call on Saturday about three-way calls. I know a lot of you aren't doing any. And if you were to keep a chart and that says, how many three-way calls did I do today, and you kept it for a month, you would see 0 and 0 and 0 and 0 and 0 and 0. And then you could figure out very quickly that, hey, look, I got through the whole month and I got zeros in that whole column of three-way calls. That's not good. That's not good. So you gotta step it up, and just, and again, guys, this is not sprint, right? I keep saying that this is a long-term race, right? I mean, we're going to race miles and miles and miles, and so we've got to be consistent. We've just got to continue doing the same thing day in and day out, the things that work, right? So there's that little phrase, I've never been good at recruiting. I mean, I hear that all the time, but that's that mindset adjustment. So you just got to take that person and just relieve them of that fear that they have. Again, it's a fear. Hey, I've never been good at recruiting. Okay, hey, guess what? Over here, you don't have to recruit anybody. Whew. Oh, man. You just took a load off my shoulders. Yeah, right. Okay, so you don't have to recruit anybody. We're never going to stop sharing. We're never going to stop sharing the products. We're never going to stop sharing the opportunity. We're never going to stop sharing the events. So we're going to continue doing all of that. And we're going to give them enough information so that they can make an intelligent decision all by themselves, and they will talk themselves into it. They will literally talk themselves into doing this. I mean, I've had guys now who have watched me for over a year now, and starting to come to me and say, hey, this looks like a killer deal. I'm going to get in. Well, took you long enough. Took you long enough. And he joined. And the next one joined. I had 3 do that here recently. I got coffee going out to a couple more tomorrow. But, it's just staying consistent and staying right in there. It's kind of like when I was in the advertising business, we always talked to people about, repetition, right? Repetition and running an ad over and over and over and over and over again. And why do we do that? Because somebody's got to see an ad at least 12 times. At least 12 times before they start to react and they start showing a little bit of interest. So, same thing happens in this industry. I just used the same, that same parallel, is that we've got to get that message in front of that person time and time and time and time and time again until finally say, you know what? He's not going to give up. That ad is going to keep coming to me. He's going to keep showing me that same thing. And I keep telling people, don't wait. Now that, my check is where it is, don't wait until it's twice as big. And Lord, don't wait until it gets 3 or 4 times that big, because then I'm not going to be much of a help to you. I'm going to be done. So you guys have caught me at a good time. I'm working, right? And I'm working all the time. So do's and the don'ts. I had somebody ask me the other day, is there any way to get diamond, like immediately? So I sat back and thought about that, and I said, of course there is. Of course there is. There is what is now going to be referred to as the diamond package, right? And what is a diamond, right? It's 15,000 BV on both legs. 10% of that volume has got to be your enroller tree volume. The other 90% can be divided by your upline, your team, your enroller on that enroller leg. So let me show you something. They said, would you diagram that out for me so that I can have that show to somebody? So I did that and I sent that to them, and they loved it. So, and it's, I won't go into all the detail, but I'm just going to give you kind of the surface, and then we can get into more on an individual basis if that's of interest to anybody, or if they know somebody that this might be of interest to. But I put group your team up there. Starting as a Ruby, right? Starting with a business builder pack, then going immediately and sponsoring 3 Rubies. Now you're legacy qualified. Then the second step that is now starting to build out, this structure. Emerald, 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 underneath each of those emeralds, 1 emerald. And I built this with the enroller team to the right. So this is your enroller leg over here. This is your leg over here. So I put the majority of the volume over there, obviously, because you only need 1,500 over here. You need 15,000 over here. So it's emerald, and that emerald goes out and sponsors 1 on the left and sponsors 4 on the right. Okay? And then it duplicates and duplicates. So that's what the structure would look like to get diamond. And like I said, first step, then the second step. Now, what I suggested to the individual that asked me about that, I said, if I were going to do something like this, I would do it as a team, right? I would find myself 2 other people, and the 3 of us would make up our mind that we would do this. We'd partner up in that top position and share that top position, a third, and or it could be, like I said there, it could be 2 people, it could be 50-50, or you can do it all by yourself. I don't, that could work for some people who had a massive market, but like I said to them, the 3 of you would own that group position, and then the group position goes out and sponsors Ruby 1, 2, and 3. That takes care of your legacy foundation team, critical step, right? Now, so the group just spent $1,800, 3 Ruby packs, and earns $300 fast start bonus. So they have a net expense of $1,500. But and then you start putting in the real guts of your organization, which is the emerald, emerald, emerald. And the reason, again, I stuck with 3 is that, if I were doing this with 2 of my buddies, I would say, okay, I'm going to be here. Bob, you're going to be here. Jim, you're going to be here. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, let's go. And then we would put 3 Ruby packs over on this side, and we would be diamond, right? That top spot would be diamond. So, but that's basically what it looks like. And I've gone through all the math, and I've gone through all the commissions, and basically, it's diamond in a day plan, right? So there's basically what it looks like. Some of this got out of whack, but I'll put it back into whack. What it comes down to is I don't think you guys can see that. Maybe you can. Again, I'll fix that slide. I don't know how that got sequenced, but it's basically building, that building block and turn that top position into a diamond spot. So again, anybody wants to talk about that, we can certainly get on the phone and do that. Again, the last thing that I want to talk about is just, once again, just talking about Orlando. I know a lot of you have already made reservations. You know, maybe you're at the Omni, maybe you're not. It really doesn't matter. It's just that, you know, that you're there. So I would pull out all the stops with all of your people. The more people you can have there that get anointed in the, you know, the belief, right? I mean, I tell people, if you want to get a shot of belief, just come on down to Orlando. You're going to get a great shot of belief. You're going to go out of there, and just like John said on that little video, you know, we'll do twice as much volume after that event. So in September, it'll be wild. Hey guys, let me
May
stop
open niya, red continue to send.
all of that stuff.
Pakita niya,